Welcome back to Deano's garage for the XJR 1200. This hasn't really been a project as such. This bike I got back end of last year. No real major issues. I did the service on it, as you've seen. I have sprayed the engine because this part of the engine always gets very tired, so I've sprayed that in a satin black. I have just bled the brake. I'll just show you down here. These brake calipers always get a lot of weathering. The paint tends to peel off of them, so I sprayed it black, split the caliper, changed the seals, put it back together, and I've just bled that brake, got all the air out of the fluid, and it all feels good and looks good. So that's been sorted now. But one of the things I don't like about this bike, now it looks lovely in black, and I think you agree it looks a nice sort of retro looking naked bike, but I kind of didn't like this. Now I'm all for retro, but this really makes it look retro. I mean, it's good quality, it's a glass lensed headlight, but as you can see it's got these nice little LED indicators. And what I wanted to do was change this front light for an LED front light, just to sort of give it that modern look, really, because I don't think you'd really know that this bike is an old bike. You could think it's a sort of a modern day retro looking bike. It's well set up with suspension, it's got the YSS rear shocks on there, but it really is that headlight that lets it down and makes it look, well, you know, it could be a 1970s sort of headlight, really. So I've got this. Now I'm not sure this is going to work, but this is one of those very cheap off of eBay LED halo type lights. Now this is what modern day bikes have. They all look really cool, the Harleys, etc, etc. So I'm going to try and see if I can fit this, but what I'm a little bit puzzled about is there seems to be no holes, no screw holes, no nothing put in this aluminium backing, so I may well struggle to fit this in the housing of the chrome bezel. So we'll see how I get on. We'll see if I have any success, or whether this was a relatively cheap eBay purchase that's going to come to nothing. It has connections on the back which hopefully mean I can plug it straight in, but that may be subject to some messing about with as well as, but yeah, we'll see how we get on. But I think you'll agree, because that's got the black and then the LED, it really will fit in well with the bike. But we'll see how that looks, we'll see if it even works. So stay tuned to Deano's garage and you can see whether this is any success, and then you can apply it to your machine. Thanks for watching. Right, so here we are back again. So this is, as I say, the LED light. Couple of screws, one here, one the other side. That's just a plastic shell, and this is your main headlight, which just clips in with this sort of wire clip, and that's your sort of daytime running light. And let's just show you. So that's your very old style. I mean, I had bikes back in the early 80s that had a light very similar to this. The screws on the side there, if it will focus, screw through and into the metal there, and then obviously your main headlight clips on there, and then your sort of daytime running light goes in there. So anyway, I need to see whether I can utilise this somehow to sort of incorporate that LED. We'll see how we get on. Right, so welcome back to Deano's garage for what is the fitting of this LED headlight to the old existing surround. Now I'll just talk you through what I've got so far. So this is the new LED headlight fitting, and this is the old glass headlight. Now what happens is this fits in here by way of these spring clips that retain that in there against these tabs. And the spring clips obviously
sit in the back of here and then hold it in place on that bezel. That bezel then goes into the surround, and that is the surround that actually screws in to the actual plastic headlight that is fixed to the bike currently. And I'm hoping, and it looks promising, that what I can do is take this, the sort of bezel that goes around the old headlight there, put the new LED fitting into here, and it did fit. Obviously those little clips want to get in the way, but as you can see, that does fit into place in there, and it goes that way up. Now what I now need to do is take those metal clips, these metal spring clips, and hopefully they will, and it looks like I've got little lugs there, so it might be that I can use that lug. Obviously this isn't designed for this bike, but by way of luck maybe that will help. But what I need to do is basically get that spring clip to go in and back under there and retain that into that bezel. Now I could actually do it without the spring clips and put some sort of CT1 type sealant all around, and then basically stick that in place into that bezel, and then once that bezel is holding that light, everything else is going to go back together. I've cleaned it with some Auto-Sol as best I can. It's not great, it's a bit rusted on the base of it, the underside of it, where someone hasn't taken care to keep that polished. But it does look like I can use this like this and put it all back together and put it back in the bike, so it's very promising now. So I'll get on and do this and show you in a while, hopefully, the light working in the bike. Stay tuned.
Right, now good news guys, the LED light does work and it was pretty easy to fit. Those spring clips, as it happened, did work, and they fitted on the back of the bezel onto the back of that unit. So I'll show you now what the bike looks like with the LED light on. Let's have a look. Right, now there we are. That is the XJR 1200 with the LED light in place, and I think you'll agree it just has a completely different look to the bike. I'll just turn the lights on so you can see what the bike looks like, you know, in the sort of LED version. I haven't yet wired up the halo. I think the halo would be sort of your daytime running light, so I've yet to wire that up, but I'll just show you what it looks like. So here we are with it on. So the halo around the outside isn't lit up yet. It just kind of gives the impression that it is because it's white. But that is the light in its low beam version. And as you can see, it has kind of 4 lighted areas. And we'll just flick round on here to the high beam. And as you can see now, you've got 4 lit up. So it has that low round bulb, for want of a better term. It's basically a magnified LED, and it has those 2 side ones, and it has that top one, which is your high beam. But that is a 7-inch standard XJR light fitting, and it just goes straight in there. Thanks for watching Deano's Garage, and this has been the LED headlight fitting for the XJR 1200. Stay tuned.